Alright, what's up, guys?
In 400 feet,
I
turn left on.
just dropped an empty trailer at this JBS plant here in Marshalltown, Iowa. My load is not going to be ready until the drop dead time on it is 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, when we get, well, really all loads that you get at Trans Am, but more specifically, these meat loads that we pick up, they give you an early pickup time and then a drop dead time, and basically what that means is they have to, wherever you're picking a load up, they have to have the load ready by the drop dead time, and it usually always is right at the drop dead time. So I'm not expecting it to be done until tomorrow. But that's fine. I'm gonna head up to a truck stop, little mom and pop truck stop up here, because that's all that there is out here. There's no Loves or Flying J's or anything like that, for at least a good hour and a half. And I'm not driving that far. I can deal with these little mom and pops. So anyways, I'm really supposed to go out this side. I got pitched at one time. I went on the right side over there, and yeah, they don't like that. They like to be able to see you go leaving out on this side, because they sit at those windows over there. But anyways, okay. Story time for today. So, yesterday was a pretty interesting day. I had my load that I had to deliver to Dole Distribution in Council Bluffs, Iowa. All it is a distributor for Budweiser. So I went there, got there a few hours early. They, of course, it's a first come, first served place. So, of course, they took me, unloaded me. So I did that. And then the next sorry, that intersection right there is usually pretty busy. So then they had me go meet somebody about 40 miles away and pick up a load that he had with him. So went ahead and did that, and then they had me run it to Rochelle, Illinois, which is out toward Chicago, not quite there, probably about hour and a half, maybe, from about 80 or 90 miles, maybe, from west of Chicago. So I went, ran that out there. I was expecting I was going to be done for the day, whatever. Well, I'm not. I get there to meet the guy and meet him, give him a load or whatever, and then they tell he didn't have an empty trailer with him. I don't know why I didn't get into it with him, as to why he didn't have one. So they were like, hey, we're going to send you to Maquoketa, something like that, Iowa. It's about 30 miles north of Davenport. So I get there. What is this guy doing? You can't take your jacket off in the car? So I get there. Well, anyway, yeah, so they're sending me there to get an empty trailer. The wind yesterday, from what I understand, all over the Midwest was just ridiculous. Down further towards like Kansas City, I-40 area, they apparently were getting like 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. It wasn't that bad up where I was on 80 and 88. It wasn't that bad, but it was still pretty bad. So I'm headed out there to pick up the empty. I get there, it's a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General Warehouse or Family Dollar, whatever the hell it was. They're all the same to me. That's where they sent me to pick up the trailer. So I get there, and the security guard, Trans Am had to send in my name to, for them to put in the system to let the security guard know that I was coming to pick up an empty. So I get there, pick up my empty, and she was like, I honestly did not expect you to get here tonight. And I asked her, really, you had plenty of room, lady. Asked her, that lady back at the stop sign looked at me crazy. She was already going, she had more than enough room to go. I gotta start moving before other cars jump out in front of me, because then I won't be able to go. So anyways, that's what that is. So she was like, I really wasn't expecting you to get here tonight, and I didn't have to be there that night to get it. I just wanted to go ahead and get it over with. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, have you not been listening to the weather? I was like, no, other than it being windy all night. Like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, she told me about a tornado that they spotted, and it was moving towards that way. And she was like, usually we don't let you guys sit on property unless you're waiting to make a delivery. But if you want, you can sit here tonight, and then that way if anything happens, you can come inside the building. But from what she was telling me, the tornado was headed straight towards that. I mean, dude, you're already out in the intersection. You might as well have run the light. So I was like, no, I'm going to head down to Davenport. Like I said, I was only about 30 miles north of Davenport. I'm going to head down there to the Flying J. That way I can get a shower in, do some laundry. So I head down there. Wind isn't too bad or whatever. I promise you, I get parked at the Flying J, and probably within 5 to 10 minutes of sitting there, the wind just starts picking up bad out of nowhere. Like, it's waking people up, and they're getting on the CBs talking and everything like that. It started raining really, really hard, and then from what I understand, because I started watching the news later after all this crap had passed, so I'm assuming, I know the truck stop lost power, the Flying J there. The Loves across the street, they didn't have power. So I'm assuming the whole city lost power, because when I watched news later, they said something about around 12 to 1,500 people were without power at the time. So that was pretty sketchy. It was, like I said, the wind was blowing so hard it was waking people up. I thought about getting out of the truck and trying to go into the building, just because it's a hell of a lot safer if a tornado did hit. But honestly, the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to be able to make it to the damn building. That's how hard the wind, that's the worst wind I've ever felt in my life. And it was just rocking the truck violently. So that really, really sucked. But turns out, after I got my empty trailer, that was just kind of what happened last night, man. Weather sucked. I'm a huge bitch when it comes to the weather, so I really did not enjoy myself. It probably, the really violent part only lasted maybe 5 minutes, but I swear to God, it felt like forever, and I thought for sure, like, tonight's the night. I'm about to get ate up by a tornado. I didn't though. Wind's blowing hard as crap right now too. I ain't got no trailer with me. So my load that they were gonna give me was leaving Waterloo, but the drop dead time on that was Thursday. So when they sent me that load last night, I left it alone. I don't bother nighttime dispatch and the planners. If we even have planners there at night, I'm not sure. I think we do. but they're basically, I'm not going to say they're not worth a fuck because they do help out, but when it comes to getting shit switched around, they really have no say in that. So I left it alone last night, got up this morning, and, you know, I was nice about it. I just sent a message and I was like, you know, is there nothing that is going to be ready for sure before Thursday? I don't really want to sit that long. And, you know, my DM at the time, I've got 2 of them. They do 1 week on, 1 week off, and they alternate. So this week, I'm not going to throw her name out there. I love her to death, though. Both of my DMs go out of their way to help me out, but she messaged me back. She said that she was going to check with the planners. So then I go in, take a shower, get a phone call for this load right here, which is going to be ready Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yep. Gonna be ready Wednesday instead of Thursday. And on top of that, this load has 3 stops, 2 in North Carolina, 1 in South Carolina, which I love multiple stop loads if it makes sense. If the delivery times are way too spread out, I don't even mess with it. But these are relatively close together. And a good thing about Trans Am is, and again, everything that I say about Trans Am for the most part, unless I specify, if I just throw information out though, it's coming from lease aspect. I'm not sure about company drivers, but I do know for a fact that after your first initial stop, every additional stop after that is like $40, I think, like that. I think, or something like that. Yeah. So that's an extra $80 right there on top of the miles that I'm already running. Plus, I get to go down to North and South Kakalaka. My other one, where is that other one going? Lakeland, Florida. Which, hey, I love Florida too, but like I said, I did not. Well, I can't switch the camera. I don't know how I'm going to look on this, but whatever. I really hope that this works out, because if not, all that time talking, just a waste of time. But, let me go off duty. I got to, so at Trans Am, and as well as other companies, it's not just Trans Am, but on our unit, on our truck, we've got a personal conveyance option, which you can drive the truck and it doesn't eat up your 70-hour clock, and it doesn't eat up any of your drive time. 14-hour clock still stays running there. You can't do shit about the 14-hour clock. That's the only thing I hate about electronic logs, is that 14, once it starts, that's it. But yeah, I like, turn it off instead of burning fuel for no reason. It actually feels pretty decent right now outside. But yeah. Oh, and then on the way here, she called me again. She was like, hey, they've got another load that they want to see if you're interested in. And it was picking up 2 stops, 2 pickups in Iowa. I forget where exactly. And then 2 delivery points. And it finalized in Syracuse, New York, which I don't mind New York State at all. I don't mind anything up there. New York City sucks a little bit, but I'll still go. Doesn't bother me that much. But I would just rather go a little further down south right now. So it was about the same miles, and I would have been empty a day early. I'm not worried about it though, because this pay period week ends on Thursday anyways. I would have been empty on Friday versus on this, I'll be empty on Saturday. It is what it is, though. I'll sacrifice being empty early to go somewhere that I like a little more. Yeah, so that's basically it. Last night sucked. It's still windy, man, and I saw something on some of these groups I'm in on Facebook about brush fires down in Texas, like Amarillo, and then the panhandle of Oklahoma. Seen some pictures. It looks pretty crazy. Get it on purpose, face towards the wind, so it's not going to rock it as much. Versus if I park sideways, cabs of these trucks sit on airbags, so it's going to do nothing but just rock back and forth. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, I guess I'll finish this video. Give one up. I had a question about my opinion on why people fail at leases. That'll be my next video. I'll make it here shortly. For right now, I'm so thirsty. I could drink like 20 bottles of water probably. I'm gonna go back in the back and play a little PlayStation or something, some Battlefield, something, Madden maybe. But I'll get on that other video here soon. And I'll reply to your comment. I forgot the guy's name, and I still haven't replied to the comment. Like I said, yesterday was just busy. I was running back and forth from Iowa to Illinois and back. I woke up about 7:30 that morning. I started my day probably, I'll put it this way, when I parked last night, which I PC'd once I picked up the empty trailer, because you can PC with an empty trailer. You can use personal conveyance as long as you're not under a load and as long as you're not headed towards work. So if Trans Am told me to go to the Flying J, I wouldn't have been able to PC because that's technically me working. But since I was going there on my own dime, my own fuel and everything like that, I was able to PC there. But basically once I parked, I only had like 10 minutes left on my 14, so I was busy as hell yesterday. But I'll jump on YouTube here in a minute and answer your question. And then I will be putting out a video pretty soon today on it. So, anyways, you guys enjoy yourselves. I'm going to go play some video games and just relax for the next 22 hours or so. Good times, good times. Alright, I'll check you guys later.